morning, friends. I got up super early this morning, as you saw, to get working on some research. I was looking at some primary sources this morning. It was exhausting, but now it is time to get ready to head on into town, so let's figure out what I'm gonna wear. Recently, I've been living in this sweatshirt. I bought it last year, and it is so warm and thick, and I don't want to take it off, but I do need to actually get dressed. So we have a couple options. I bought these new sweaters from Cezanne, and I've been wearing them everywhere. So first we have this beautiful, it's just been my go-to recently, but I want to be as warm as I possibly can because it's a little bit chilly, but I am going into town to meet up with Danny to take photos, so I'll wear something pretty. So I also have this one from Cezanne. Per usual, I changed my mind. Put on some black trousers and this olive green sweater, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on a belt so I can wear my black coat, because basically the only coat that I have that's warm enough that isn't my black coat is my big down coat. So we are going with something a little bit more stylish, especially since I'm meeting up with Danny and I'm sure we're gonna get some content. So it is time to pack up my bag and head on into town.
Fading fast from this old town, we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me. Escape this time with me. We could rent a room and watch the stars dance round the moon. Fall asleep to the sounds of the sea. With you right by my side, it's such a sweet life. Escape this time with me. 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 Escape this time with me.
Good morning, happy Wednesday. My presentation last night went all right. I got a whole lot of feedback, which is good, and it gave me a direction on which to go, but I was given the advice by one of the professors in the room that I should set this project aside and focus on the dissertation, which I was kind of planning on doing. I was hoping that this project was something that I could try to finish up in a week or two, but it seems like it'll require a bit more work than I had predicted. That project is going to go on the back burner for a little while, and I'm going to be focusing on my dissertation. I was feeling all the feelings last night about the project and just not feeling good enough and just feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. I just feel like I'm treading water. And I know that I'm not making the type of progress that my colleagues are, because I obviously have other things that I focus on in addition to the PhD. I am trying to make sure that I have the skill set and the network to build a career outside of academia after I finish this PhD. And so this is the sacrifice, that the quality of work that I know I'm capable of is not quite where I'm at. And I'm not necessarily okay with that, but I made a decision a long time ago that I was going to do this the way that suited me and the way that I think and the way that I've evolved. And when I started my PhD, I was really set on a career in academia. I was really focused on just getting published and wanting to build a network within academia. And as time has gone on, I've realized that my perception of things has just changed. And the one thing that has remained is that I am very committed to my dissertation and to this project. It's something that I do want to see out in the world. It's something that I want to contribute to the way that we teach students about the history of the Black Atlantic, and those things matter to me, and so that's why I'm finishing this PhD. But getting negative feedback is really difficult. I don't want to just paint this rosy picture of being able to do everything when the reality is that there are sacrifices that I've made to the quality of my work because of YouTube and because of other things. And while I could apologize for that, I'm a much happier person because of those things, and I like the person that I am because of those things. While I wish I could be the all-singing, all-dancing academic that could produce fantastic work and also run a YouTube channel and also have a personal life and all of that, the reality is that that's just not entirely feasible, and it's a hard thing to stomach. It's a hard reality that I was faced with last night. And so I went to the gym and worked out to try to get it out of my system. And then I slept for a very long time. So I did not wake up early this morning. I slept in, just trying to take care of myself. And today I have a lot of creative projects. I have some final client documents I need to review, and just going to be focusing on things that aren't the PhD today, because honestly I'm just really frustrated and a little disheartened. But I'm going to get back to it tomorrow, and I'm just going to give myself this one day to sulk and to focus on other things, and then I'm going to get back to it with a vengeance, and we're going to write the best goddamn dissertation I possibly can. And that's just how it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm running the Accepted Society study session this morning, which is excellent because I have so much work to do. And I'm going to go ahead and log on.
Country lanes and coastal plains, endless views that we're passing through, making our way to a distant place, just us two, somewhere new. We watch the sky fade into the night. With you, my arms, nothing can go wrong. We'll fall asleep on a starlit beach, just us two, somewhere new. Somewhere new. Just us two. I'll follow you to somewhere new. Somewhere new.
It is such a beautiful day in London. I was having such a horrible day yesterday with self-doubt and just feeling awful. But I got up, went into town, I interviewed someone who I'm going to be hiring to help me do some research for YouTube content, and went and stopped at Hatchard's and got a few books. I had a Waterstones gift card, so I did not spend any of my own money, which is wonderful. And I got some beautiful books, and I'll show you them later. But I'm basically in town today. I have a bunch of appointments, but I have a little bit of a break right now. So I'm actually gonna go over to the library, get a bit of work done, and then head over to my appointment later today. It is now the next day, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, but I wanted to share with you the books that I got at Hatchard's yesterday. I got a gift card for Christmas, and I should have waited until after Christmas to use it, but I just really was needing a little bit of a book haul. I have been having a bit of a difficult week, and I just needed some book therapy. So I went to Hatchard's, which is one of my favorite bookshops in London, and it is just so beautiful. It's also one of the oldest bookshops. It opened in the 18th century. It's just stunning. So first and foremost, I was walking around, and I have a rule right now about not buying books that are on my wish list, because I'm really worried that somebody in my life is going to have bought the book and that I would have bought 2 copies of the same book. And so I went in knowing that I could not buy any books that were on my Christmas wish list. And so I was in the historical fiction section, and this book just caught my eye. This is Tsarina, Lover, Mother, Murderer by Ellen Elpston. I am really intrigued by Imperial Russian history, and if anybody has recommendations for historical fiction that focuses on Imperial Russia, I would really love your recommendations, because I, at some point, will read Anna Karenina. I just don't feel like I'm there yet. And I just saw this and it just seemed really intriguing. Also, this cover is just really intriguing. So I'm really excited to dig into this. I think it's going to be a bit different for me, and I'll let you know how I like it. The next book I already dug into. This is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I have seen so many people raving about this book on Book Talk, and I started reading, and I can see why. It feels sci-fi in the way that it's structured. So it's about 4 different Londons, and it's this kind of parallel universe. There are people who can go between the different Londons. It just seems interesting. And I personally love narratives about London because I can visualize where certain things are set, and everybody just seemed to really love this series. I believe it is a trilogy. So I am about 30 pages in, and I'm excited to keep reading. Now, the last book that I got me on visuals, because I have been thinking about buying this book for a really long time, but just never really felt compelled to splurge on something that's quite a large tome, and it's history. And so for some reason, psychologically, I feel like if I'm going to read a history book, it has to be for my dissertation. Whereas I feel fine reading fiction, which has nothing to do with my dissertation. I saw this, and it was stunning. It called to me. It had to come home with me. And this is The Earth Transformed by Peter Frankopan. He is the same author that wrote Silk Roads. It's an environmental history, and look at that. This sprayed edge is the most beautiful sprayed edge I have seen on a book, I think, ever. It is stunning. And also it continues on to the book sleeve. I'm actually very curious how the outside of the book. The outside of the book looks pretty plain, but the sleeve and it's also a signed edition because he was at an event at Hatchard's the night before I went, and I'm gonna dig into this slowly because it is a chunk of a book, but it's so beautiful. So that wraps the rest of this video. Thank you all for sticking around and trying the slightly different style of vlog with me. I saw another creator use this style, which is more focused on B-roll, and I just wanted to give it a shot. So let me know if you like it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.